What is going on, guys? It's Seeking Spirits here, back again
Yeah,
with another podcast episode for you. Today,
we are.
we are going to talk about a location that's very close to us, actually.
It is. And unfortunately, you can no longer do paranormal investigations at this
No,
location.
you cannot.
I wish we had more information on why they don't do it anymore. They
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the most iconic haunted
is.
locations.
One of the most haunted locations, probably in the world, definitely in the country. So it's very unfortunate you can't do investigations there anymore. But
Mhm.
today we are talking about Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, PA.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
How you feeling?
Feeling great. I'm feeling like I'm going to get an alcohol.
How you feeling?
Feeling like a villain, you know? But not an actual villain, because I don't want to
say,
get locked up.
wait a second.
They won't let me out. You know what I'm saying?
Locked up, won't let me out.
Prison for 39.
So what's that?
This was all made by a guy who was in prison for 39 years. This is on newspaper. Made from hair gel. He melted it home. He never seen it completed until he got out of prison.
Oh my god, that's insane.
That's nuts, dude. Like you kind of blend in with the walls.
Tree
Oh, that's
growing in there? That's crazy.
what you think about that?
It's pretty crazy. What a cool art installation thing.
And he would just collect specimens of moths, bats, birds, butterflies, and he would just bring them back. So like that's where the inspiration for this came from. Some is original, some is just people who had continued to do that
I was like,
after the fact.
they had an alligator? I was like, no, dude.
Yeah, like I said, you can't do that anymore there. Unfortunately, we
It-
tried. Trust me.
We did.
We tried.
And you can book like weddings there.
Yep.
You can book to film there, but they are not interested in being related with the paranormal anymore.
Yeah.
Even though they still do a
Haunt.
Halloween haunt, which I think is, I have my own opinions about it, but
True. Anyway,
Yeah.
So we did the next best thing we could do, which is we went on a day tour.
we did.
It's an open day tour. It's like a free roam kind of a thing.
Yeah.
We walked around. We checked it out. It was awesome. We'll show you some footage from that, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about that some more. But first, we're going to get into just a little bit of the history of it. You know how we are, the ADHD brain scattered history. Nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
So if something is like a little off, we do our best,
Yeah, just let us know in the comments
Yeah.
if we missed something here.
but don't be mean.
Yeah, please don't be mean.
I can only take so much.
So Eastern State was opened in 1829, I believe, and it was basically, we didn't learn this till today. We actually didn't learn this while we were on the tour. We were watching some other paranormal stuff on it, that it was basically all solitary confinement cells.
Yeah, which I mean, I kind of got that impression just based on how small they were. We could go in a few of them.
Yeah.
And they had some like art exhibits and different stuff, which was actually like really cool. Definitely check it out. It was one of them actually almost had me like full on in tears because it was just so like heart wrenching. But yeah, the confinement, like the cells were so tiny.
Yeah. It was believed at the time that at the time it was like cutting edge. It was
Yeah,
supposed to be like this like really awesome facility that was supposed to like rehabilitate and change people for the better.
yeah, they were talking about the penance,
Yeah.
and it was a very religious thing. They thought if they put them essentially in solitary confinement that they would find God.
Yeah, and there's like openings at the top of the cells to see
Mhm.
into the sky, like skylights,
Yeah.
and that was like for them to it was supposed to be solitary confinement for them to connect with God.
Yeah, and then there was a metal door, and then another, like, barn-style door,
Mhm.
like, wooden door a few feet in front of that that would slide over so that they couldn't even communicate with any other prisoners, which is just I mean, imagine what that will do
It's crazy.
to anybody
Yeah.
mentally. I mean, it's not cool.
No, not at all. Not
Not
very cash money at
not
all.
very cash money at all,
No,
no.
and like I said at first, like it was supposed to be like this cutting edge, state of the art. Like this is going to revolutionize the way we like people in prison are changed and stuff like that and repent. And but the truth of the matter was it was basically just torture.
Yeah.
And they used to do some crazy things there. Reading some of the things that we read when we went through there was nuts. Like they would treat they said that masturbation was a form of harm.
Yeah, actually, on the Ghost Adventures episode, which is like one of the only things that we could really watch. I mean, we could find clips, but we couldn't find the original Ghost Hunters episode because it's like not anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, but somebody that was actually somebody's cause of death was
Yeah, masturbation, which
masturbation.
is crazy. There's no
Yeah,
way. But yeah, they treated it like it was like an act of self-harm is what the placard actually
right.
said at Eastern State.
They didn't want any of the prisoners to communicate with each other at all. So they would put what looked sort of like potato sacks or like weird ski masks over their head whenever they had to move them
Yeah.
so that they couldn't like see each other, communicate. Like, I mean, just the dedication to making somebody feel not human at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. One of the I think probably the wildest thing that we heard about all of it was that during the winter they would chain people up to the wall and spray them with ice cold water and let them stay there.
Dude, how I just like sometimes you think how did people get away with it, and I'm sure that in like 50 years, no, I know in 50 years there's going to be stuff that comes out about like this time that we're living in that's like crazy like that. But who decides that that's going to make making somebody a human popsicle is going
Yeah, that's
to
crazy.
I feel like that would just make them resent where they are more, like, that would just fill me with rage.
Yeah, it's insane. Very intense. I don't that's I mean, you could imagine all the negative energy being expelled there would definitely create some type of haunting, let alone just not even just the people who passed away there, but just all that energy, that negative energy, all those tragic things
Yeah.
that happen, like leave imprints, and the whole place is made of stone. So
Yep.
that's like, stone tape theory. Like that's like that place is like a literal walking stone tape theory, like
Yeah.
gold mine because it's
Because
like,
all of the
yeah,
walls are just, like, layers of thick,
yeah,
probably limestone if I had to guess, but,
hmm
just these large stones, the whole thing is made out of it, and, I mean, imagine I'm a big believer in the idea that thoughts become things, and that you can really like manifest anything that you want, which is like a whole nother subject. If you want us to do a video on that, we totally can. But imagine the thoughts that are running through these people's minds as they are like being treated subhumanly and are just confined in the crazy things that your mind can do when you're put into isolation like that. And then that energy being transmitted into the stone.
yeah,
That's
it's wild.
crazy.
It's like I said, it's like a gold mine of stone tape theory
Yeah.
energy. It's like that place has got to be just filled to the brim with energy. And it's got like a really interesting layout too, with like this center point that like plots off into
Yeah.
every single wing. And we were talking about it while we were there. We're like, man, what we would give to set up shop like right in the middle here. And what I thought
Yeah.
was interesting too is because like I don't think a lot of people think about this. It's like something we like to talk about and think about all the time. Those like the energetic kind of like
Pathways.
pathways and like because we were
Yeah.
watching Ghost Adventures, they're like they were have all their stuff set up in the middle, like that's where they were kind of
Mhm.
going from. I would love to like investigate that part.
Right. Well, and I think maybe I always point that out just because as somebody who does like interior design and stuff, I'm always thinking about like I'm not like a feng shui expert. Go follow my friend Tan on TikTok. He does feng shui. He's great. But everything that you have has energy, and everything that you lay out has energy. So like when you lay out your rooms or your buildings in different ways, like the energy, you have to think about like what naturally flows through. So to have that point all in the middle, and then above it is also the watchtower.
Hmm. It's crazy.
And to think of that is where so much of the energy must convene
Hmm.
and pass through. I look, I'm really hoping that they'll open it back up.
Maybe one day.
Maybe we can hope. Everything has a price. How much? We don't have much money, but we have spunk.
Will that get us in? I don't think it will. I
That
already tried.
sounded wrong.
That did sound wrong. No, but I did try. I reached out to
I
them,
know.
and now you can rent it for filming. You can film things there, like movies and TV shows and things like that. And I was like, so if I paid, and it's much more expensive, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, so if I pay for that, can I do a paranormal investigation? They were like, nope, you sure can't.
Well, and we were even just seeing if we could film the podcast in there, like not even break out any equipment, not do anything like that. But since it's related
Hmm.
to the paranormal, it was a no-go.
Yep. So, in unrelated news, I do have some EVPs I took somewhere that was not Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yeah,
That-
it was not while we were inside.
No, that I would like to listen to later.
Yes.
If you're okay with that.
I'm down with that.
Completely unrelated.
It's so
obviously.
unrelated.
But they're just interesting, so I thought we could listen to them.
We did a little more traveling around Philadelphia,
Mhm.
around things that may be connected to Eastern State, but are not Eastern State, if that makes sense.
So we'll listen to those in a little bit and see if we got anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Eastern State Penitentiary. Yeah, it's an interesting place.
It is.
You could feel the energy when you're in there. One thing we haven't even mentioned yet is literally Al Capone
Oh, yeah.
was a prisoner there.
Yeah, Scarface, which,
The real life Scarface.
to be fair, I have never seen that movie, and I just know that he was like a famous mobster. I don't really know too much about
the
it.
most famous, pretty much. But yeah, he stayed there, and it was even said that he believed he was haunted by one of the victims of one of his, like, the mob things.
Right, and isn't that insane?
That is wild.
So the fact that it could have been haunted upon haunted.
Yeah, it's double haunted. It was haunted by someone that haunted Al Capone in the haunted prison.
Right, and then maybe Al Capone now haunts there.
Yeah.
So it's like haunted on haunted on haunted.
Stacks on stacks on stacks of hauntings.
Of ghosts. Just
Yeah.
racks and racks and racks of ghosts.
Racks on racks on racks of ghosts.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, it's crazy. There's so much energy there. His cell was so weird to look into and see like how nice it was for a prisoner.
Yeah.
I guess you got it like that. You got it like that. So all right, sorry about that. Our other camera overheated. We just had to change cameras real quick, but
Let's go back to Al Capone for a second.
okay.
Because we didn't, while the camera was overheating, we were trying to explain. I don't know how much of it we'll get to put in.
Yeah.
So Al Capone's cell had art in it.
Yeah.
They had it all set up. You couldn't go in it.
Yeah, it was
But-
closed, but you could look right through the bars, and there's like a window section to look
Yeah.
through.
And it had a lamp, like a bed. It had a rug. The choice of rug, not my favorite, but you know what? I'm just wondering, like, if any of those prisoners would have had anywhere the amount of money, would they have been given the luxury of putting that in there, or did he just know somebody on the inside? Like,
I'm not sure.
what was the vibe with that? How does
Yeah.
that just happen?
Maybe he's just got like so much money that he can, when you're like you have commissary and stuff like that when you're in prison. I don't know if that's how it was then.
You
I
think
don't
they sold rugs at the
no,
commissary?
no. I just mean like he's got money like that. He
Yeah.
can kind of bring in whatever he wants. and he had 2 beds in his cell? I don't know if
He
that's how that was.
did, but I don't know if that's biblically accurate.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's biblically accurate
I
or
don't
not.
know.
There was, like, a mural that was painted on the back of his wall that you can only see a little bit left of
Yeah.
it, but there was, like, a picture of the original one. There was, like, a big mural.
Mhm.
It's just interesting to see, like, all these other people are living in, like, squalor, and he's, like, even though he's there, he kinda was living in, like, as far as prison, especially, like, isolation is
Yeah.
concerned, he was living in, like, luxury compared to
Right.
them.
Well, and I'm sure they probably even kept, I mean, if they allowed him a rug, if they allowed him, I think he even had a record player.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if they were allowing him all of these luxuries, I'm sure they also probably didn't make him close that barn door. He was probably able to interact with some of the guards and different things,
Maybe.
because I mean, if they're gonna break the rules for him enough to let him have so much more luxury than the rest of those people, then he's really just a guest
He's
there.
just he was just a lifelong guest there.
Yeah.
So that's wild. I don't know, double standards, I guess, but if you got money, you got money.
Isn't that the way it
That's
goes?
wild. It's interesting. I wonder because I don't think he passed there.
I'm not
Let me
100%
look it up.
sure. We'll Google it real
See.
quick.
So Al Capone actually died of cardiac arrest in 1947, but his decline began earlier after his transfer to Alcatraz. So they transferred him to Alcatraz actually,
That's
which is
crazy.
like another insanely haunted prison. He
Yeah,
went from one haunted prison to another, which is insane.
crazy.
But it says, yeah, his mental and physical condition deteriorated, and I guess he was released in November 1939 and was sent to a Baltimore mental hospital, and then he retired from there to his Florida estate. So,
Interesting.
which is
I
yeah, that
wonder why they sent him to Baltimore.
I don't know. It's probably in that time. It might just be they just didn't. There's not that many facilities around, so it's like
Right.
this is the best one for that situation or whatever.
Got you.
But that's interesting that he got transferred to Alcatraz.
Yeah. I mean, so two of the most notorious
Yes,
prisons,
probably the two most.
yeah, he was in.
That's intense. I mean, he's the one of the most notorious criminals ever, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I need to like learn more about what he did.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure it's
Wonder
not.
if our great 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 grandparents
Oh no!
had known him at all.
Oh no! We might have a connection there.
We might look, when you're Italian, you never know.
Yikes!
There's this, so right next to Al Capone's cell,
Mhm.
there was like another cell that was empty that was apparently like his buddy's
He
cell.
just like got his homie. Yeah. Can you just put my homie next door to me?
Yeah. And then right around the corner from that, because it was like a little corner type of situation, was this room that they had like a little exhibit in, and it was like gangs
Hmm.
from like Al Capone's time versus gangs now, and it
Yeah.
was like giving a history of like different stuff in there. And it was a cell, but you could go into it to see the exhibit. And I almost passed out when I walked into that
Oh,
cell.
weird.
Yeah, granted, the cells were a lot
It
hotter.
was super hot.
And I was just thinking, I mean, like, there was no freaking airflow in those. So, like, in the summer and winter, those, like, individuals that were incarcerated there must have been
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. And I mean, but literally, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I might go down in here.
Yeah.
I
I
gotta get
remember
out.
you were like, "Oh, this feels weird." It did feel heavy in there.
Yeah, it was really
So
weird. And then right when you step out of that is they have these two mirrors facing each other. Don't do that. Don't, you can't look, mirrors are portals. If you put them facing each other, you're going to open something up. That's just my personal opinion. I don't fuck with mirrors like that. A lot of people in interior design sometimes like I will play with like a mirror facing a window so that it can reflect light, but some interior designers will have, you know, mirrors facing mirrors to make something appear bigger. Bad idea.
Bad idea.
If you don't have a mirror facing your bed or have a mirror facing a mirror, I'm just telling you right now, you're going to have spooky stuff happen in your house if you do that. Don't freaking do it.
for for legal reasons, that's just Lexi's opinion.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Don't do it. I'm just trying to help
Yeah.
you.
No. So we did speak with like a couple people who work there and stuff,
Mhm.
and I don't think they've been there that long, but they said that they knew some people who had some paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
Specifically, they said one of the really haunted spots was in like the synagogue area. It was like
Mhm.
this
It was
outdoor
like an
it was like an
alleyway.
alley. It was an alleyway with like outdoor cells, and
Mhm.
they said like it's a spot where you couldn't be seen by the guard tower. So a lot of times like fights happened there, and like people got killed there,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So we definitely walked around there. There was like a chapel in
Yeah.
there. I sat down and for a few minutes
And just
and just kind of listened. It
Mhm.
was interesting.
Yes.
Think I heard things
Yeah.
with my supersonic ears.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think in like I said earlier, in unrelated news,
Mhm.
maybe we listened to a couple of EVPs we took recently.
Yes. In Philadelphia.
Yes, in the city of Philadelphia.
Shout out to our dead dad.
All right, so a couple of these were just like burst EVPs that I was doing, when we were walking around Philadelphia
Mhm.
in spots that I just felt energy.
Yeah.
So there might not be me asking questions much, but we're just going to review a couple of them and see if we got anything. It's loud outside in Philly, so I couldn't hear stuff. So we
Yeah.
figured we'd wait until we had good mics to make sure
To
that
look at, to
they
hear it.
yeah,
Yeah.
to hear it. So this first one only has a few seconds, but let's see if we hear anything. Oop, made me burp.
There's definitely something there I can't quite put
Yeah,
it
it's
together.
very. No, don't laugh. You
I
can't laugh.
can't.
You can't laugh. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so not sure if there's a little something there.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to hear. It's actually it's better through these actually
Yeah.
being able to listen to it. So the next one, I think I did squeak out a question. Squeak out is the key word there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can anybody hear with us right now?
Something in the beginning of that for sure before I asked.
Hey.
Can anybody hear with us right now?
It says something. It's one word. I don't think it says hey now that I heard it again. Play one more time.
Can anybody hear with us right now?
Something before and maybe something after.
Yeah. The one before is very loud.
Yeah, it's like shouting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't hear like
Mm.
a. I just hear loud. I don't hear like a
Can you slow it down?
pronounced.
Can anybody hear with us right now? Can anybody hear with us right now?
Huh. Definitely says something.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's see what the next. I'm not usually like honestly 90% of the time you can't understand what it's saying on some of these. It's
Yeah.
really hard to. So that's
Decipher
why
it.
when it's like really, really, and you'll notice that in our videos, and I'm sure you guys know this. Like I don't put what I think it is unless I really think that's what it says.
Yeah.
Like I don't play. I try not to guess. Obviously, we can't know for certain,
Yeah.
but like sometimes we'll hear different things and we're not sure, and then I just kind of leave it up to interpretation because I think that's the safest bet.
Right. We don't want to
Imply,
yeah, give the power of assumption.
yeah, but there is times like you can never know for 100%. But I like if I really hear something, I'll put it usually.
Yeah.
But so far, nothing distinct as far as what it said, but definitely some chatter. Let's see what the next one is.
Yeah.
That's a voice right there. Hold on.
That's unwell. Yeah, that's weird. That almost sounds like a fight to me, but I don't know.
Definitely a voice in the middle. Let's listen to it one more time. None of this sounds like voiced yet to me. That sounds like it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's too low to make out what it
There's two
says.
parts in the middle that kind of sound like a voice.
Let us
Um,
know if you guys
yeah, if you can
hear
make it
it.
out. I think we got a couple more. I think we have 3 or 4 more. If I'm not mistaken, I did listen back to a couple. I think that might have been one, and I think this next one might have been one. And when I listened back briefly, I was like, "Oh shit, I think there's something there."
Right now, you can talk to this silver box in my hand. Can you tell me what your name is? Do you wish people would come and talk to you more?
Also, I would like to mention
Hmm.
that while Nick was taking that, I was running Spirit Talker in a location close to him, and it said, "What's that box?"
That is true. I walked out of the place I was taking it, and she goes, It just said, what's that box?" So I'm going to play it one more time because I definitely think, because I asked what their name is, and I think it says, "My name is something." I can't say the
Mm-hmm.
name. And then I think I said, "Is there anybody in here with me?" And it did say,
Is there anybody in with me right now? Can you come talk to this silver box in my hand? Can you tell me what your name is? Do you wish people would come and talk to you more?
I don't know. There's definitely stuff there. There's responses to all my questions there, which is
Yeah.
interesting. If I'm not mistaken, I think after I listened back to this and said, "Oh wow, there's someone here," I said, "Let me put this down for a minute." So I think this
Mm-hmm.
is an open mic.
Thank you for talking. I appreciate you.
A little bit there, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing too
Nothing
much.
crazy, but
I think there might be like 1 or 2 more. Let's see.
Hello?
Nothing there. Hello,
hello.
hello. That's the beautiful thing about the DR60s. I don't have to sit through 6 minutes of silence.
Yeah.
Hello, nothing. One more. Nothing there.
Is there anybody here with us right now that's not alive anymore? There is. Can you come talk to this silver box that's in my hand?
So yeah, those were a couple of EVPs. We took it in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days,
Yeah.
chilling, taking EVPs
Yeah.
in undisclosed locations.
My God. Woo!
Um, but yeah, so there's that. Um, you know, but completely unrelated.
It's not related at all.
So but back to Eastern State. It was a
Yeah.
fun day walking
Yeah.
around Eastern State. I'd like to go back there. I really wish they'd let you do full investigations there. It would
Me
be so
too.
much fun.
I'm wondering. I maybe we should ask Chat GPT why they stopped doing paranormal investigations because I'm sure there's somewhere on the internet.
According to Chat GPT, it says Eastern State Penitentiary ceased its ghost hunts due to a combination of factors, including operational challenges, a shift in the focus for the historic site, and the evolving mission of the organization. The prison's management decided to concentrate more on its historical and education programming rather than its paranormal activity. As a part of the shift, the penitentiary aimed to better preserve its structure and artifacts while educating the public about the history of the prison system and the lives of who were incarcerated there. By doing so, Eastern State Penitentiary can more effectively honor its legacy and contribute to discussion about criminal justice reform.
Understandable.
I will say, although I'm disappointed that we can't investigate there, it was cool to see that they had like art exhibits that were
Yeah.
about prisoners and stuff like there. They had a lot of information about people who are incarcerated now and like
Mhm.
programs and stuff like that. And
It was very impactful,
yeah, it was
the
impactful.
stuff
I
they
don't want to
had
say
up.
they're not doing, I personally don't like when any location shies away from the paranormal because I
Yeah,
feel like they make it, it's like this, it kind of like perpetuates this idea of like it's like a boogeyman, and it's not often
that's
that like the
true.
paranormal act. It's extremely rare if it ever actually happens. Some people probably believe it just never happens. That people actually get affected negatively through the paranormal, unless you're like
Yeah,
actively like seeking it and going to places that are supposedly dark places and things like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you're gonna. Like I don't think if you went on,
yeah.
it's. I don't know. I
It's
get
just weird to me that it's something that they embraced for a really long time and that it's not
I think it's weird that it
at
got
the forefront.
I think it's just weird that they flat out cut it out. I get it not being at the
Mhm.
forefront. I think what they did was when whoever bought it, whoever has it now, probably was like the only thing. Like people came through here for history and stuff, but a lot of people come here and shoot videos about the paranormal and stuff like that, and it was like breaking down and stuff like that. And they bought it, and they were like, it's we're gonna make it more about the history side of it.
Mhm.
We're gonna make it more about prison reform and art and an
Yeah,
experience because
that's true.
when we went, it was cool. It was like a beer garden. You get to go sit out and drink in
Yeah,
the field, and they had like a baseball game they were playing and stuff like that. And I think it's just they're creating a more well rounded kind of experience
right.
for everyday people rather than just the paranormal, and I'm sure in the long run that's gonna help them as far as money's concerned,
Yeah.
preserving the prison and stuff.
Which
So I
is
get it.
it's something that a lot of historic
Mhm.
locations struggle with is getting the
Yeah,
funding. So
exactly.
I think that the fact that they have such like a large event space probably helps them out with
Yeah.
that. But a lot of places, the ghost stuff is what's keeping them afloat.
Yeah, I just kinda wish that they just did both.
Yeah,
Like, it
same.
doesn't have to be in the forefront, I just wish that it was, like, still an option.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it would be a very expensive option, but it would
Hmm.
still be cool to have the
I
option.
think if it was an option, even expensive or not,
Mhm.
people would take them up on it.
Yeah, and it's, no matter what you do, you can't erase that part. People know it's
Yeah.
haunted, and people
Hmm.
in the field know it's haunted, people have investigated there in the past, they still have that
Yeah.
footage, they've talked about it, it's been on many TV, it's been on Ghost Hunters, it's been on Ghost Adventures, Portals to Hell,
Yeah.
many YouTubes, so that's not something they'll ever bury. It's there for
I
sure.
wonder if maybe because like the way that that is worded, I wonder if maybe there was like investigation teams that were like not I don't want to say destroying it, but like
Mhm.
wearing out like but it's a decaying building, so at the same time maybe I don't know.
Well, I mean, if, for example, we watched the Ghost Adventures episode, and the whole episode, Gazak's just talking about how he wants all the scary predators to come out and come after him and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it seems like now what they're focused on is like prison reform
Right.
and like the struggle that prisoners go through, like
It
and
was
stuff like
probably
that.
getting a negative rap
That's yeah, it's probably
and
the
people thought
reason.
it was scary so then they wouldn't come for the other things.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
See, that's probably all factors that went into it. But
Yeah.
either way, even though you can't investigate it, you should go visit Eastern State
Mhm.
Penitentiary. It's a really cool place. Like we said, lots of cool
Yeah.
art exhibits, lots of cool history, information. And even if you don't come in with paranormal equipment and stuff like that, you just, a lot of people say the best piece of paranormal equipment is yourself.
Yes.
So you can go in there and get a vibe. You could still ask some questions. You could,
Mhm.
walk around and still kind of have a semi haunted experience because
Yeah,
the building is haunted.
you never know what can happen because even in the middle of the day, things happen all the time in like a Taco Bell, dude, somewhere. People just don't realize it. Like that's the thing. Eh, Stuff can happen everywhere all of the time and we're just not paying attention. So pay
Yeah.
attention, keep your eyes open, your ears open. And I mean, go support them. They had some really really
Yeah,
cool exhibits. It was very informative
exactly.
and it was an experience that I'm happy we went and did it.
Yeah, and in no way, shape, or form are we shit talking Eastern State at all,
No,
or their current
no.
management or anything like that.
I think
We respect. We're just a little confused because we think
because we think
in
it's
a
a really
perf
cool part of
yeah,
it.
in a perfect world,
Yeah.
it all comes together.
Yeah. But I can
But
understand
but
why.
if that's not their cup of tea, it's not their forte, and
Yeah.
they probably just don't. honestly, I feel like a lot of times with people are like that, they just don't know much about it. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
spooky
Or maybe they just had a bad experience with a few
teams or something like
teams who
that.
did it, and that just they were like, you know what, we're making money off of it, but it wasn't enough
It's not
to
worth.
sustain it, so
Yeah,
it's worth it
exactly.
for us to just shift totally, and
Hmm.
that's, respectable as well. So no, we're not. We do wish that we could, and we hope that one day maybe they will take
Open it
like
back up.
requests, yeah, but if not, still we're just happy that a piece of history is preserved, and that maybe once you go there, it can, when we erase history and we take it away from the past, we forget about it, and then it happens again. And nobody should ever be in a prison like Eastern State
Yeah.
Penitentiary ever again. So I like that part of
Mhm.
it, that they're trying to incorporate the prison reform,
Yeah.
because there was
Exactly, I
a
agree.
lot of things in there that made us go, "What the hell?"
Yeah, what the heck? This happened?
Hi. It's so much hotter, literally in the cells than it is out here. So I'm just
It's
thinking
brutal.
how, like, horrible.
Yeah, how brutal it would have been then.
Yeah.
Prison llama. Crazy riot that happened, and all the inmates literally lit the records on fire. I was like, nah, man.
That's insane. Also, you know what's insane? The world's largest filing cabinet.
How do you even?
They can't be an actual filing cabinet. I don't know what they store in there, but
Well, I can tell you now, it wasn't records.
it wasn't the records because they were on fire. Got them.
What if it was like Capone, prison, murder?
No, I did not. No. I told the gangsters in the other cells that they're my boys, and next thing you know, my wallet is out of my pocket. I'm just saying. I apologize, but we all homies here. Is all I'm saying.
Look at the detail on this.
Overall, if you guys had to rate this location without actually doing anything there, what would you give it?
I mean, it would probably be a 10 if
It
I
would
could
be a 10.
investigate it.
Why do you say that?
It's just crazy. I mean, it's huge. The way it's designed with all the hallways going into the center, that's got to be like an airway,
Like the flow of energy.
The flow of energy is so fluid through there into one point, and then so much crazy shit has gone on here. I just can't imagine
to
it.
get to investigate, even outside of Alcapone's cell is that would be insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I mean, the Stonewall tape theory.
Yeah, I mean, if you hold any credence into that, then this place is loaded with it, because that's all it is just stone with all the energy.
You got any vibes anywhere or
A
anything?
couple places, yeah, you could
that
feel
one
it.
room, next to Alcapone's cell, we walked in there, I was like, I'm gonna pass out in here.
The
But
gang cell?
Yeah, but it was a little hot, but also...
But you could feel it different. And then when we first went down that one hallway, you could feel it a little bit, and then that alleyway.
Yeah, the alleyway is weird, that one.
The synagogue.
I would like to go into
too.
that at night, but...
Yeah, so, I don't know, it's crazy. I don't know, what do you think?
I think it's sick. I would this kind of gives me what I felt for Sweet Springs before we went to Sweet Springs.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish. Maybe one day. We'll have it like that. There's a price for everything, so.
True.
I'm wondering what that price
What is that price? Because I'm going to need to get in here.
It almost feels like things have been suppressed. like they want to talk. So I feel like if you could do an investigation, the first one would be like crazy. Yeah. I should take a photo.
But all in all, very cool trip.
Yeah.
But that's going to conclude this episode of the podcast about
Yep.
Eastern State Penitentiary. So don't forget to like, subscribe,
Ring the bell.
comment, ring that bell, as
Yeah.
Dylan would like to say.
Yep.
Ring the motherfucking bell. But
And
yeah, we'll catch you guys
on
next
the
time.
flippity flip.
Yeet!
Bye.
Bitch.